Like down in Quilcene, Southville, down in Quilcene for the fish hatchery anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
100 years. Great day, great weather, good time to see the fish jumping and see them all waiting to get into the hatchery there. So it was, you know, there's a half dozen people that work there at the hatchery, but just a whole lot of organizations that really came out and show the kind of the breadth of activity around restoring the salmon. Real educational day and good day to meet with quite a few people. Talked to Wayne King, talked to Barney Burke, talked to Phil Henry, Fish and Wildlife, a number of folks. It's a good chance to not just visit, to talk business. So that was good.
Phil's been pretty busy taking down cougars this last year.
Oh, yeah.
Down in Twandos.
Yeah. Well, some residents have asked Fish and Wildlife to meet with the sheriff and myself and talk about the no shooting area down at into Chimney Creek. I guess there's ongoing issues probably that should have been dealt with early when they first started developing Keller Point, you know, in terms of, okay, what happens when you have an urban growth area, what happens when you have housing developments that are right next to what has been a prime duck hunting area for a lot of people. And one of the things we talked about was the need to really identify areas like that so that development doesn't encroach upon them, and take a more positive stance in the future in terms of, particularly when we develop like the comp plan and look at those areas that say, you know, you have no shooting areas by default, really everything else is shooting area, but to really look at the ones that are really special to people and to hunters and identify those as well, not just have a negative thing of saying, well, too many people are here now, too much congregation in the area, you know, we have to change something. But also look positively and say, okay, we really want to protect these areas. What do we need to do to involve people early in any process of permitting, you know, or land zoning changes and that sort of thing, to make sure we have an avenue where those areas are protected in a positive way, not just a no, you can't.
Hear, hear.
You know, that's a good point. And I'm thinking, you know, we have a checklist that we go down when we engage in changes of the comp plan.
Yeah.
It's a pretty long checklist, and I can't remember it all, but, you know, things like, is there enough, do we have enough space for, in the county for more development, things like that. And I don't think on the checklist we have a statement about, you know, would a change in zoning impinge upon traditional hunting areas? I don't think we do.
Yeah. And it's a conflict right now for the sheriff and Fish and Wildlife, because it's a place on the water where you transition. So they're going to have talks too. So I'll keep you posted and see what happens with it. It's bringing up some statewide issues actually for Fish and Wildlife, so they're wanting to have more internal discussions before we have local ones. So,
Commissioner, when is that meeting taking place?
well, it hasn't been scheduled yet.
Okay.
It could happen next week, but Fish and Wildlife, like I said, is according to Officer Phil Henry, is having internal discussions about, okay, it's not just Jefferson County, it's elsewhere. They're having these issues. They may want to delay it.
Were you planning on having anybody from DCD attend as well?
I don't know if that had come up yet, but I certainly.
Certainly, if you'd like, that we could arrange for that, since they're involved and do the processing on the no-shoot zones, and you know, need to be mindful of sometimes their ones, because it's a land designation that they get the calls sometimes.
Right. Okay, yeah, I'll talk to Al about that. There's a real good understanding for Fish and Wildlife of some of the issues involved, so at least locally, but statewide, we need to make sure that they're on the same
Well, and they have some lands that are owned by Fish and Wildlife that are specifically designated for hunting and whatnot in the area down here. So I think we've got sort of two things right immediately adjacent or in some cases overlapping. So,
Right.
You see that we have some athletic persons who've entered the room. Philip, anything before we
No,
go to proclamations?
I think the proclamation